to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. My name is Fujica and I serve this community as a business mentor, and I love when you all are able to get your home care licenses. You all know, especially if you've been following me for a long time, that I am a ultimate cheerleader of you. If you want to start your home care agencies, if you want to go into business for yourselves, I am all for that. However, there's another side to this, and I wouldn't be a good mentor if I didn't talk about it. So in today's video, I want to talk about 5 reasons why home care agencies don't make it past their launch. If that's something that you're interested in, and really and truly it should be, then stay tuned. So you all know that, as I do consultations, a lot of you reach out to me and you're really not able to afford the consultation. So I really pride myself on the fact that if this is something I think that will benefit a lot of you, I just bring it to the channel because I'm passionate about making sure you all have the tools and resources needed to appropriately start your agencies. For whatever reason, you have been licensed already, you've started your businesses already, but it hasn't quite taken off the way that you would have expected it to. And so after having several consultations with some of you, I've put together 5 tips on my thoughts as to why either your business is not launching the way that it should or is not progressing as far as it should. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump into the first tip. The first tip that I have for you is not knowing your business. And I say that, I'll use myself as an example. You all know, for most of you who have been a part of my channel for years now, you know that my husband and I have a business together. And I can, with pride, tell you that every role that is within our business, both my husband and myself have done. Okay, now we're at a point to where we have been able to hire people to help us run the business for whatever reason. Okay, people get sick, people call out, people have personal things going on in their lives. Whatever could come up, I can slide into any role, my husband can slide into any role and make sure that that business does not skip a beat. For some of you, that is just not the situation. And listen, you don't want to wait for an emergency to happen in order for you to find that out the hard way. So I suggest that everyone knows every position that your agency will hold, okay? So I know some of you, like me, you haven't had experience with providing physical care. That doesn't mean that you can't shadow your home care aide that you have hired for your agency to understand what it is that that client may need. So if that home care aide were to call out tomorrow and you don't have a backup, guess what? You're the backup, right? Because you don't want to lose that business. So a lot of people come into this agency knowing how to provide care for their clients. If you're the other side of that coin, like I was, then make sure you start building on that skill set to ensure that you can make sure that that quality of care continues for your client no matter the circumstance. The second tip that I have for you is not promoting your business. Now, I want to make sure that I'm very clear here. Promoting your business is not posting on Instagram a couple of times a week and then dropping off a couple of flyers once a month. You really have to be aggressive when it comes to marketing your business. If you want to see results, you've got to put in the sweat equity to ensure that you're getting your name out there, that you are where your potential clients will be. So when you talk about creating a marketing plan, that typically involves, and I always tell people, you don't want to make the mistake that I made when I first started out. I was posting to everything several times a day until I just burned myself out, and then I stopped marketing. When you initially launch, your business cannot afford that, okay? But you also want to make sure that you leave enough room for you to do other tasks in your business. But marketing, because you don't have clients yet, should be your main principal task, right? Until you start getting clients, until you can start building up referrals, Your main task is marketing your business so people know that you're open and they know what services you provide. So as people decide that they need your services, they know where to find you, right? You're top of mind because they saw your Facebook post, or they saw you on Instagram, or they were at a community event and they happened to see your agency's presence there, right? So you just want to make sure that you are spreading the word, and you have a plan to aggressively market your agency at every opportunity that you get. People don't know about you. You have to make sure that they know that you are ready and willing to serve. The third tip that I have for you is taking a salary too soon. Now listen, I know I have talked to plenty of home care agencies that they are actually paying their home care aides, but they themselves are not taking on a salary, right? So they're making sure their expenses are taken care of, and part of your expense, your biggest expense, is going to be salary, right? And so that's natural. I think that's natural at first. You're not taking money from the business because you don't know what you don't know, especially that first year, right? Because remember, after that first year, you're paying taxes for the first time. You know what all your bills are. You know what other financial obligations that you may have. So a year is usually considered a full cycle of expenses, right? So you know everything that you're paying out. What you don't want to do, especially if you've been in business for under a year, is start to actually turn a profit, and you're digging into that profit prematurely. Because typically every business has a high season and every business has a low season. And so you want to make sure that as you have your high season, not only are you pouring back into your business to get more out of it, but you're setting aside funds as that money's coming in. So when that low season comes, you're not hurt as significantly as you would be if you have already taken money out of the business, okay? Now, I'm not saying you have to wait a year, but I am saying you have to understand what your expenses are and what they will be in order for you to make an assessment on if it's time for you to start taking a salary. The fourth tip that I have for you is not putting enough time into your business. Now, listen, this kind of goes back into the first tip that I said just a moment ago in terms of you really need to know every aspect of your business, right? You're not going to know that if you're not putting enough time, if you're not spending enough time with your business. You're not making your calls that you're supposed to be making. You're not doing your visits in order to build your network for your business, right? Now, when I'm talking to you, the feedback that I'm getting is, because my agency wasn't doing well, I had to go back to work. Or my agency wasn't doing as good as I thought it would be, so I had to start working part-time in order to supplement my income. So I'm going to have to tell you, this goes back to your business plan, okay? Because by you doing your business plan, you would have done some type of analysis to understand how many clients you would need and how many home care aides you would have to hire to take care of those clients in order for you to start seeing a profit. And once you get that formula down, you can play with those numbers to really see what it would take for you to be successful. The pickle of this dilemma is you're not making money, so you're working. But now you're working, so how can you really make a lot of money, right? So I have two things to say here. The first thing is your business plan. As you were putting in those time frames, those are estimates, right? Because you're trying to estimate when you'll have one client, when you'll have two, when you'll have three, and so on and so on. Until those estimates become actual numbers, that money is not coming in, right? And so either you are going to have to work and do your business at the same time, or you have to have money floating you until you're able to start turning that profit. It's either or. So remember, I think I shared with you all that as I was getting my license for my agency, I was still working. And I had a salary position at that time, so I was working more than 40 hours. My kids were much younger and needed me more at that time. And so on top of all of that, I was using my extra time. This is when my kids were asleep. This is when people, my house had not woken up yet. So early in the morning, late at night, on weekends, I was working towards my license. Now, once I got comfortable, because as I was getting paid, I was, tucking away a little bit of money, right? And then I actually ended up coming into a little bit of money. So it's, again, what do I need for my business? You're going to have to do that type of analysis in order to understand. You don't want to fall into the hole of, I don't have this, so now I got to do that. You really got to make sure you put 100% effort into building your agency. So I hope that makes sense. The fifth and final tip that I have for you is staffing. Now, you all hopefully by now have heard articles, you've probably watched other videos, or you may have experience that staffing is a little bit difficult for this industry right now. And one thing that I will tell you is the turnover is high. I know you have heard me say in some of my other videos that hiring for your agency will be fluid. And with that being said, you never stop, okay? You're constantly vetting, hiring to ensure that you have enough presence, to have enough coverage for your clients, okay? And so if you go into this business knowing that, then you should always have people on your roster, right? And be honest with people. I've said this before in some of my other staffing videos. I'll make sure I'll include a staffing video for you as a resource. And also I think I did a video on how to retain your caregivers, because that's real important too. Once you find those A+ team players, you want to keep them, right? So I'll make sure you have all of that in your resources for you. You want to make sure that you are honest and upfront with people, because people apply for a position and a lot of times they're either applying for so many positions that they really don't know specifically who you are. This is when you reach out to them and they're like, now who is this again? It's because they're just applying, right? Or because they've been in this industry enough to know that, hey, if I don't work for Homecare Agency A, I could be working for Homecare Agency B. So right away, you want to make sure that you let this person know where you are in the hiring stage. Right now, I'm just building my roster to ensure that I have enough people. Are you okay with being on call at first? Are you okay with working part-time at first? Right now, I'm interviewing you, but it doesn't look like I'm going to need someone for the next 30 days. Whatever that case may be, as long as you're honest and upfront with that candidate, you give that candidate an opportunity to either keep looking or to say, hey, that's not something I'm interested in. I really need something right now. Okay? So that was my last tip. I am such a half glass full type of person. I cannot end this video on why agencies fail. The truth of the matter is, this is a great business to earn a lot of money. However, you want to make sure that you are knowledgeable, you want to make sure that you're putting a lot of time, and you want to make sure that you are operating your business with a spirit of excellence. Those three things will help you to run a successful, money-making, service-providing business. As a reminder, I am doing my next class. I'm actually only doing one class this year. Last year, I kind of got burned out doing two or three classes last year. It just was too much for me to handle. So I'm only doing one class this year. It is the beginning of June. It's pretty much the month of June that I will be conducting my only course. Now, some of you, so the link for that will be in the video description. Now, some of you are not interested in the course. You just want licensing assistance. I have a service for that as well, and that will be also in the video description. Okay, so if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you like the video. Do make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you're notified each and every time I drop a new video. That's all I have for you all today. Stay blessed.
Stay blessed.